Being 7 o'clock, I call the Ossipee Planning Board meeting of January 15th, 2019 to order. First thing I'd like you to do is have a moment of silence for our former chairman, whom I took over from Kowalski. He died Friday night. I ask you to please join the pledge with me. I didn't matter that thing tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Steve Mahoney.
Yeah.
Kristen's not here, so I don't know if she's on yet. Rick St. Jean.
Yep.
Amanda Eldridge will be absent tonight. Tim Otterbach.
Here.
Rita Zavas, absent so far. Dennis Legendre.
Here.
Roy Barron.
Yep.
Condict Billings.
Here. I will now open a public hearing on the proposed zoning changes. We'll get our minutes and informal, unless Roger is here. He's not.
Roger's here.
Oh, you're here, sir. This is an informal discussion which is not binding on either party.
Okay. So what we're gonna do here, this is, what, is that everybody, just you or
The whole board.
Okay, so what I wanna do here is, this is Ossipee Family Medicine for Huggins Hospital, and that's what they currently have, the building now. What they wanna do is, I just kinda did an overlay here. They wanna put this undercover, we wanna enclose it, so that, mainly because the, right behind this door is where the patients sit, and they get a lot of cold air coming in, so you get sick people, and it's not a good situation. So,
This is on the parking lot side.
yes, that's on the parking lot side, so, that's what the roof pitch would look like. I'd join it onto this one that's, coming out already.
So Roger, this is an enclosed vestibule?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it'll end up, I just did a quick sketch on it, so that's what it ended up looking like, right there. That's the roof coming out there now. We just enclosed this section. We put automated doors on each end.
You're
They'd be
gonna close the whole wheelchair ramp too?
Not all of it, but quite a bit of it.
It's pretty slippery sometimes,
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, well, I did almost all the way down here. We had about, we had a total of 14 feet of it, so.
Now, what, has the state come to you people yet about the roundabout?
That I don't know. You'd have to check with Don Pusher, Huggins Hospital.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering whether you're gonna have to change your parking lot and everything else to correspond to that roundabout.
I have no idea. I mean, this is quite a bit of.
What he's in for today, it's an existing footprint, it's just a waiver. He's looking for a waiver, so he doesn't have to go for the site plan, which we agreed on last year.
It's only 115 square feet.
The roundabout really ain't got nothing to do with us at this point.
No, no, but I mean,
I guess it's also for me, I would like to ask the board, instead of bringing somebody like Roger up here, that I just give him to go ahead and do it. It's a 300 square foot, this is from last year. Anything under 300 square foot, you can get a waiver for. He should be able to come in and get a building permit.
I would think so.
Yeah. I'd make a motion to grant the waiver.
second there. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Roger.
Good luck, Roger.
Bill,
Let me
Steve,
leave
fill
that
that
with
up.
you and I'll see you at the.
Absolutely, yeah, give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have to sign that, Steve.
This here?
No, the waiver.
No, this isn't the way, this is what you agreed on last
I
year.
know, but I thought we had to have an official something on it.
You've never gotten involved with that, the board. I'm asking the board to waive that. If somebody comes up and asks me,
I understand that, and we set the site plan up that way, but if you're gonna get a waiver from us, we should be able to certify that we did waiver it.
I guess what I'm asking for
Certified would
is,
be
Wow.
filing the approved minutes into the applicant's
Okay.
file.
The minutes are certified, she just gotta make sure she puts it in the minutes.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure everybody's on the same page.
If I can get a copy of some of the paperwork that you had,
I guess how come Steve needs to bring it before us for something that small?
well, that's my question too.
Yeah, that was my question.
Held it up for
Thank
a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
There's really no need for it.
Yeah, Moultonville Rd does, I think there's 700 square feet before they have to get any waiver, just for record. Okay?
Well, we'll discuss that out.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Bud.
I open the public hearing at 7:07. Amendment number 1 is on 25.3 procedures. I am not gonna read the current procedure, I'm gonna read just the proposed with the changes. Proposed change of zoning ordinance 25.3.3 meetings and hearings. Hearings of the Board of Adjustment and public hearings on appeal being heard by the board shall be held as required by the bylaws of the board. The concurring vote of 3 members shall be necessary to decide in favor of any appeal or a reverse of any action appealed from RSA 674:33, 3. Notice of the public hearing shall be given, eliminating at least and substituting not less than 5 days before the hearing date by striking certified and replacing with verified mail as described in RSA 451 C1 C:1 B7
Roman
7 to the appellate of butters and all property owners within 200 feet radius of the boundaries by placing notice in a paper of general circulation as required by RSA 676:7B and also provided to the Board of Selectmen, zoning office, and other boards and commissions. Cost of giving notice shall be borne by the person at the time of the application. The zoning officer, unless prevented by good cause, shall attend all hearings and shall present to the Board of Adjustment all plans, photographs, and other factual material which is appropriate to the understanding of the appeal. Any discussion from the board? Any questions from the public? I'll now call for a motion to approve this.
I make a motion that we approve the proposed changes to,
25.3.
excuse me, thank you, 25.3.3 meetings and hearings as noted by Connie's reading of the revisions.
Second?
presented to the town for approval.
presented to the,
And you second that, Roy?
Yep.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. Roy, read the next one.
Amendment 2. Are you in favor of the adoption of Amendment 2 as proposed by the Planning Board for the town of zoning ordinances as follows? Current ordinance 25.3.5, notice of decision. 25.3.5, notice of decision, the board shall issue a final written decision with all reasons and conditions set forth for the record on each appeal heard. If the appeal is not approved, the decision shall state the reasons for disapproval, RSA 676:3, Roman numeral 1. The decision shall be placed on file with the town clerk and made available for public inspection within 72 hours after it is made.
Oh, you should be reading the other one.
Excuse me?
you're only reading the proposed change.
Oh, all right. That's the old one.
Then the decision,
And the new one would be, the decision shall be placed on file at the board's office and shall be made available for public inspection within 5 business days of such vote, RSA 676:3, 2. In addition, a copy of the decision will be given to the applicant, the Board of Selectmen, zoning enforcement officer, and other town boards, commission, and shall be published in the local newspaper.
any discussion? Public? All those in favor? Oh,
We gotta have a
we
motion
gotta have a
first.
motion.
I make a motion that we adopt 25.3.5 and for the, to go for the town, right? The town vote.
I second.
Motion made and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. Dennis, you're up.
Amendment number 3, are you in favor of the adoption of amendment number 2 as proposed by the planning board for the town zoning ordinance as follows? The current ordinance,
No, you read just.
Proposed.
just the proposed,
Yeah.
They want just
the
proposed.
proposed change, rehearing within 30 days after any order or decision of the Board of Adjustments, any party to the action or any person directly affected may apply for a rehearing provided in the RSA 677:2. Motion of rehearing. A motion of rehearing shall set forth fully every ground upon which it is claimed that the decision complained of is unlawful or unreasonable. The Board of Adjustments shall, within 30 days after a motion of rehearing is filed, either grant or deny that motion, or suspend the order or decision complained of pending further consideration, RSA 677:3. 2, the board decision to grant or deny a rehearing may be made at a regular or special meeting approved by the planning board.
Make a motion, we accept it, 25.3.6, be forwarded to the town for vote.
Second.
Any discussion? Public? Call for vote, all those in favor? Motion carries.
You want me to read the next one?
You can have it then.
Okay. Proposed change. This is amendment number 4. Are you in favor of the adoption of amendment 4 as proposed by the planning board for the town zoning ordinance as follows? Proposed change, 26.1 application procedure. 26.1.1, the applicant shall submit to the zoning board of adjustment the completed application and 5 full copies of plans for the proposed development or change in use of the site and other pertinent information that is necessary to determine that the proposed use meet the requirements and spirit and intent of the ordinances approved by the planning board.
Motion, we accept 26.1.1 and forward it to the town for vote.
I'll second that.
Made and seconded, any discussion?
Public.
Any in public? All those in favor?
Sorry.
Motion carries. That's the last one, right?
Of the regular ones.
Two more.
No, I
Of the
mean,
administrative ones.
yes.
Just for the public's information, these were all changes relative to changes in the RSA, and we're just bringing our zoning up to comply with the RSA.
Okay.
You wanna go ahead with that?
So you want to go to
Amendment
amendment
five.
number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, amendment number 5, the 34.2 commercial uses. The section 35.2 R add property maintenance services.
We're looking to add R.
Oh, I got R,
No.
add, that's what I said.
We're looking to add R to the list.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
We're looking for
property
add R
maintenance
to the list.
services.
Property maintenance services. You want to do this?
Oh,
Okay, I just checking. The planning board previously approved recommending our property maintenance management services to the table uses, but needed to indicate which zoning districts this type of business would be allowed. Board discussion ensued on the potential traffic patterns impact within the districts, whether roadside, commercial, and or corridor should reflect P1 and P2 to stay consistent with other commercial uses. After discussion, the board agreed traffic would not be a factor and to keep the permitted uses in all districts. Excuse me. We go to add the definitions, article, do we do that too?
Yes.
Yep.
we do, but
Article.
everything's gonna be separate.
We have to be separate, but I can vote on,
Vote on all at once, okay?
I mean, I can vote on it one at a time, but
You can read them all now.
the definition should be read with this to correspond.
Okay, so Article 35, which is triple X, V, Section 35.2, commercial uses, add property maintenance services, A, commercial business which provides lawn and yard care and property maintenance services. You're up, Tim. Make your motion.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
make a motion that we, we accept the addition of property management services to the commercial uses table
35.
35,
34.2.
34.
I'm sorry, 34.2,
34.
which included property maintenance services and, oops, and that's it.
And to
Forward to
Toby
the
for the
town.
notice.
And, right, and for town vote.
I'll second.
Rick seconded, any discussion on this? Board, any discussion from the public? Yes, Ralph?
In your discussion of adding this, did you at all consider the possibility of making both for the village and for the residential, these acceptable with a special exception? I'll just give my background, then you can,
Well, residential, we did give it some thought, we kicked it around, and we came up to the conclusion that there wouldn't be that much activity in either.
I mean, my perspective is that for all three that you're going to add, they come in a variety of sizes and structures and whatever. Some I would deem quite appropriate for the village and residential, some I would think would be too large, or with lighting and parking and other things would be disruptive of the village. And, you know, West Ossipee is different than Center Ossipee or Ossipee Corners. A special exception would allow those kinds of things to come into effect. We know that getting a special exception is not as difficult as a variance, but it does allow the zoning board at least to look at the local conditions, where they want to put the building, what they want to do, and if they want to have a property management that they're going to have 2 or 3 trucks coming in, I have no problem in the village. But if they want to have 10 trucks or 12 trucks and they're going to create vehicular traffic that may change that neighborhood, then I would want to have some conditions placed upon it. So I have the same speech for each of those, but that would be my, and as it stands, I'm not sure how I would vote in the vote in March.
They would still
Steve,
have,
do you want to answer him? Why?
I agree with them.
You agree?
I-
Okay. Yes,
I still have that same question I had before. Everything else falls into P1 in that category. We're talking everything from clinics to warehouses, junkyards, to business offices, everything else, and all of a sudden, we don't do it for this. I think you're gonna have complaints. I think you're gonna run into a problem here. I think it should fall under it just like the rest of them. P1.
P1 is strictly traffic.
I know. I
And it's
understand
the
that. That's
number
why
of
it's in that
trips.
corridor.
It's the number of trips per day. What is it, Steve? 1,000?
Yeah, 1,000, I believe that's what it is.
That's why we
Yeah,
did not put the P1 in,
right.
because of the traffic count is so low. And
Yeah, we determined that even a large scale property maintenance service business would not have 1,000 trips per day.
right,
and you still gotta come before the planning board, get approved, go through the public, the whole 9 yards, and you can still put, ask
still
for
has
this
to
at that
have the
point.
site plan,
That's right.
because
So
it
I
is
don't see a problem
commercial.
with it personally.
Unless it's for home occupancy. But does it come under home occupancy, Steve, because
It'd be an in-home business with an accessory structure possibly, you can do that.
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah, we did discuss that.
We kicked around quite a while, actually.
I don't know a lot about it, so I might have some questions, but for this, you're talking about a business that's run out of a home, right? That it could be in a residential setting?
Well, the property maintenance.
Specific.
Electronic.
Yeah. Does it have to be that specific, or can you word it so that it can be a little bit more general? Because there are other businesses run out of homes.
Right, and we have, in this particular table, there are 18 different types of businesses listed in the table. We added this one because it wasn't addressed in our current zoning ordinance. So that's why we're adding it, because we were not able to address that particular type of business relative to our ordinances.
Harry can run under a home business.
Does it depend on how many employees there are? Is there a limit to it?
In the home itself is what, 3?
That'd be-
I believe it's only 3 employees in the home.
Right. Does it have to be that way? I'm just wondering, are we limiting, you know, most of the people in the area would want to run their business out of their home unless they want to pay to be on like Route 16 or something. Does it have to be limited like that?
Yeah, we're not addressing the home business aspects of this. It's strictly, we're identifying that this is a new listing for this commercial uses, and that in the table, for example, it's permitted in all the different types of zones we have in town. So it doesn't reflect whether it's a home-based business or not. It's strictly what's permitted
That type of
in that zoning district.
I guess there's 2 questions that I have is, does it have to be so specific? Do you have to list each type of business so the next time a business comes in and says, oh, well, my business isn't listed in this, is it gonna have to come back here and go through all this again?
Quite possibly.
Or can you change it so that it's more general?
If it is not addressed in the
Ordinance.
ordinances, they can go to the ZBA and get a variance. Right?
That's correct.
Been there, done that.
That's
Been
correct.
there, done that, yeah.
Last week.
And
Gangman.
certainly if that
Last name is Gagnon.
comes to us or comes to the zoning board in more frequently than just once, it may be something we look at in the future to add to our types of business in town.
And then that second question, the number of employees, can that, it doesn't have to do with what you're talking about right there, I guess, but does that have to be that way, or can it be changed? How would,
A home occupancy business may have, I believe it's up to 3 employees in the home. Not, so if it's a property management service, he can have 50 people as long as they're not working in the home.
okay, so if they're out doing work, that doesn't count?
No, it does not count.
Okay, thank you.
That was actually my question, so.
That doesn't allow.
I didn't know
for-
either, so I'm curious about that myself.
No, do you have any more questions?
No, she asked the only question I had, so. That one took me a little bit by surprise. I didn't quite realize that.
So what would you like changed, Phil? Do you want a variance for all of them? Or a special exception?
I would, for each of them, I would go with a special exception. Even on the sports recreational facility where you've got it, no in resident.
Well, just stick to this one, please.
Okay, special exception for the first 2.
Village and residential,
Right.
how does the board feel about that?
I disagree.
I disagree.
You disagree? Tim?
Well, I think we leave.
Go on to Dennis first. I'm thinking about it.
Him zoning officer, and that would be part of his duties, is to determine those types of things that come before him. And if he makes the determination, we should stand behind it.
Yeah, but if it's permitted, he doesn't have much
Right.
say in it. Correct?
Every zoning officer we had has a different opinion, so the next guy may be more strict than he is, or
I
maybe
just
more
don't know
lenient
if
than
we
he is.
need
So
to
I
go
don't
for it.
think it's up to him, it's up to us.
No, it's not up to us, it's up to the townspeople
And the
and the
townspeople.
ZBA.
Right,
If it's
exactly,
a
right.
special exception.
Yeah. Well, it's not up to ZBA, it's up to town people. Whether it
Well-
goes ZBA or not.
And in-home business is permitted.
Correct.
And again, we just ran into this. So they can operate property maintenance out of their house.
right.
It's already permitted.
And what makes it unique is the fact that we don't have the volume of traffic that some of the other businesses have, like a general business or a repair shop or something like that.
Well, that will
which-
come in front of the
Which do
planning board.
require special exception.
And that will come in front of the planning board
Right,
for a site plan.
right.
For an in-home business.
And you would be
residential,
sending them to the board, because you determined that when you were,
And that's, yeah.
and that's the way it should be.
Well, you want to add?
Well, I was just gonna say to Tim, I mean, if you look at Article 26, which gives you all the list of the criteria, if they
Right.
come to the zoning board seeking a special exception, there are 8 criteria they have to show that, and if you look at them, I think they're fairly, I'm not gonna say innocuous, but they basically ask for the board to look at the neighborhood, look at what they're trying to do, and decide whether in fact it fits that particular area of the town. And as I said before, in granting a special exception, the ZBA does not require the same level of proof that a special exception is. A special exception, you sort of look through it and, okay, that makes sense, yeah, all right, that'll fit, whatever.
Versus a variance.
Variance is much more strict. So it just seems to me it's a chance for Steve, for instance, to say, okay, look, and, you know, some of them that come before us, it'll be zip, 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 yeah, go ahead. Obviously, there's fees involved, but it does give at least another look at what they're trying to do. And Well, okay, I'm just gonna stay with, the property management, the only problem I foresee as a possibility is how many trucks are they gonna have and what kinds of fertilizers or other things are they gonna be storing? You know?
You don't have a restriction in fertilizers anyway, go to any hardware store anywhere. That's been one of my issues for quite a while, there's nothing we can do about it at this point. And as far as the truck goes, you're not gonna have 10, 15 trucks going in at the same time, except maybe leave it in the morning.
Well, I wish I could say that I would know that that's the case all the time, Roy, but I don't, so that's.
I've worked in
why I-
businesses all my life, you just don't see that many trucks at once, it don't make that much impact.
I mean, my
How many
bottom,
times they're gonna run 10 trucks in and out one day?
I'm not against.
It doesn't meet the traffic count, so. I think it's just the town trying to get more authority, that's all.
Well, and one thing we can do to address that, if it does in fact occur, is that we can come back to this at some point in the future and modify our adoption of this to set some greater restrictions if the volume of trips coming in and out, or the number of trucks or whatever in a particular zoning district increases to the point where it becomes problematic, we can address it again. We're not locked out to be able to not do that now, I mean, in the future. Well, what I'm saying is, right now, we're getting it
We
in
just had
the...
a case last week, same case, same business. And there's nothing on your list that fit that case. So we had to, how shall we say, wiggle around to find a way to get a business in that we didn't necessarily want to stop. So you're right, you can change it again, but in the meantime, the zoning board may very well be hit with a couple of cases that
I
were
understand, yeah.
You know, if people worry about traffic, I remember before they rerouted the highway, unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember that. This is a thriving little community. They moved 16, we died. Look, all the businesses went out of business. So when you start restricting stuff, your town dies. You gotta have a little common sense when you start restricting things.
I'd have to say, well, part of the issue that I think what Ralph is saying is the butters.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know anything.
If they don't like it, buy the damn property. Everybody's sitting there, well, I got more rights than the next guy, you know?
Okay,
And I'm a little tired of that.
Steve. If they don't have, they want it under home occupancy,
A home business,
Home business.
up to 800 square feet,
right?
small building.
But it still can come under commercial unless you give them a home business. If you refuse them the home business, they can go to ask for a Ralph, go in front of Ralph. If it's on commercial land, they have to come in front of us.
Oh, there's restrictions on the home business, you're right, you're absolutely right, that's what will happen.
So I think they're all pretty well covered, unless I'm mistaken.
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
You're suggesting that later on we could go in and adapt where this could be allowed or add restrictions?
We could modify our table so that it does in fact read special exception or whatever.
So you're asking, right now, we're looking to put permitted in all districts.
Right.
After studies or whatever, and people come in, now you're gonna take it away from being permitted and put it on special exceptions, and now you're adding the restriction to them.
I would say in the village, special exception, that's also commercial. Either the village is right here, they can put whatever trucking company they want, and it's permitted.
Well, if it's not a home business or so with 3 employees,
Well, not that, what I'm saying is, that you can.
if commercial's already.
Commercial, in the village, you can have both, in the village area, you can have commercial and mix it with residential,
Correct.
and that's gonna be a mess. That should be a special exception.
Just the village.
That would be my take.
You're saying just village, Steve? not residential as well.
For residential, it's already permitted as a home business, if they wanted to.
That's-
So like, there's nothing I can do about that.
That's true.
But the village, special exception.
Is home business law in the village now?
Yeah,
And why
Well,
change it?
residential. But in the village, you can take commercial and put it in the village, which is right by PB&J, all that whole area. You wouldn't want a trucking company up there.
Always was commercial, Johnson used to be over there.
Special exception.
Johnson weren't special exception, they were there
No, Johnson
when I was a
wasn't.
kid.
Johnson wasn't there, they were on where the park is.
That's what I'm talking about, that's right
Well,
across from
that's town
PB&J.
property.
I'm just discussing what we're at right now. I mean, it's a special exception in the village, that's my take on it.
Right, right.
Well, how about if we go around again? I still disagree.
You disagree with?
Special
Making,
exception.
yeah, making anything a special exception.
Dennis? Still disagree?
I'm gonna go with the zoning officer on this one. I believe he's the one that has to
The
do
village
this.
itself is a mixed use, commercial and residential.
I think it should be.
Well,
I don't like what he's done the last couple of years, something
I
outside the plan.
I also agree with the zoning enforcement officer that property management services in the village district should be under a special exception.
all right,
I disagree.
you throw it to me, huh?
Why you get the big bucks?
It's 3-2 right now.
We've lost too many
2-2.
rights now.
It's 3-2.
Yeah, Rick
Oh,
said.
I'm sorry, I'm calling Steve, sorry.
You don't count.
Well, you amounted to something for a minute.
You're agreeing with Steve? Oh, I thought you
Sorry
said you
about
were.
that.
No, I got you.
But commercial, we can have residential and commercial.
Only in the village, you can
No.
split it.
No, you can have it on roadside commercial, and
But the issue is the village.
Village and residential.
I understand that,
But
but
the
you're
village
saying,
is residential and commercial, so wouldn't they have to come in for a site plan?
Not necessarily.
No.
If it's permitted, you can have either or on that building.
Right.
If you've got a building up the street or in the middle of town, you can either have residential or you can mix residential and commercial.
Right.
And you can't stop it.
Right, because
And for
our,
neighbors and people in the town, special exception would be the way to go,
right, our ordinance allows that in that district.
in the village. That's the only district.
But if it's a commercial use, it has to come before the board. Right?
Can't mix it with for the board, what's this commercial?
In a village district, if it's commercial use, it does not have to come before the board because it's permitted
In the commercial.
in the commercial.
In the village.
In the village.
Special exception, that'd be my way to go.
Yeah.
It's already permitted now?
no, nothing.
No,
All right,
A home occupancy is permitted.
right,
okay.
right.
A home,
Yeah,
Home business.
occupancy
home,
is permitted.
home
business.
occupancy business is permitted. It's permitted in all zones.
How long is commercial got to come before the planning board? I don't have a problem with
No,
the way
they
it's
don't
set.
have to, Roy.
That's right.
If they're home,
If they're home, it's not commercial.
if they run a business out of their home,
That's permitted.
like you and I do, you run a business out of your home, I run a business out of my home.
I
But
understand
we were
that.
grandfathered because we were before zoning took effect. But we are permitted to do that under a home business.
Mhm.
Now, if somebody wanted a lawn and care property
Maintenance.
maintenance out of their home, they could run it without coming in front of us, even though they are commercial.
That is correct, because it is a home-based business.
Correct.
Yeah, I understand that.
So what Steve wants is if it's in the village, to get a special exception instead of just being able to do it.
No, that's wrong, you're taking their rights away, they already can do it. That's just like our building permits, you get that passed, we lost that. You know, I don't like the fact we got a code enforcement officer comes in, he wants to take more rights away. He's hired to do a job, not take the rights away.
Roy, we're not taking rights away, what we're doing is
It's
we're.
special exceptions,
Excuse
taking
me, I
rights,
have
it
the
costs somebody
floor,
more
I
money.
have, point of order, I have the floor. The issue here is that we are tasked with providing zoning ordinance which protects the safety and welfare of our community. And part of that challenge for us is to determine which of these ordinances do just that. We're not attempting to restrict anybody. I need you to stop referring to it as a restriction.
It is a restriction. If the zoning board turns it down, so they can't have it, they're restricted now, aren't they? On top of that, we're here to protect the people's rights too, never mind the business rights, never mind the property owners. We're supposed to balance it.
All right.
And all I see over the years is more business to get more restricted, they're just gonna go some other place.
Make a motion, we end discussion on this and take a vote.
I'll second that motion.
Before I do that, anybody in the public still want to talk? If,
Can I just comment on it? I think that my idea of what the zoning board or the planning board's job is with the zoning is to set up spaces in our town to look a certain way. So when you're saying that you're going to, I guess, restrict or make it a little bit more of a challenge for certain businesses to come into the village, which might be a walkable space, I think is a good idea, because then if somebody comes in with some giant thing they want to stick in the middle that might be unsafe for the kids that are walking to school, it is your job, right, to kind of lay out what our community looks like. So I don't mind a little bit of restriction if it means that my kids can be safe when they're going to school.
They started over for the planning board.
Hmm?
They started over for the planning board.
if it's large enough, like you, the example you used, they would have to come for site plan.
Right, so the point is they can't just set up whatever without coming to you and you make that choice whether it's a good fit for this space or not. I think that's a good thing to have it be that way.
That is not necessarily true, because if somebody does have a home-based business and it's permitted in the zoning district they're in, they go to Steve and he confirms that that's available to them and will allow them to be permitted.
But if they have more than 3 employees, they have to come before the
No, they
planning board.
don't.
But I'm just saying,
No.
saying.
Rick,
Yeah.
a home occupancy within the home
Yeah.
can only have 3 employees. Within the home,
Right.
Secretaries.
Right.
he can have 10 people outside and we can't do anything about
Right.
it.
Or 50 or 100 or
But that's
whatever.
not what we're talking about.
Yes, that's what we're talking, that's what you're saying. If it's got more than 3 employees, he has to come to us. That's not the case.
What I was trying to do is to address the member of the community's question about in a neighborhood situation where somebody comes in with a home-based business.
Yeah.
That, right now, given our current zoning ordinance, if it's permitted in that particular district, they just go see Steve and get a permit
Yeah.
based upon, them meeting the criteria of a home-based business.
So even in the village, like if somebody had a house like right here and wanted to do that, they wouldn't have to run it by you? They would be a home base even in the village?
Yes.
Okay.
It's permitted right now, right?
No. That's why we're putting this in.
That's what we're just
The-
trying to
the-
decide.
That's
So
what,
home base is not permitted in the village then?
no, a home-based occupancy
Is permitted.
is permitted at this time.
Right.
But aren't we just talking about
But this is talking about.
property maintenance services?
Correct.
Correct.
So in other words, if we restrict the property maintenance service, the other businesses can still do the same thing out of the home, have 50
Right.
employees.
Yeah.
A little discriminatory, isn't it?
Which is why we have this chart for commercial uses. for the different zoning districts. It identifies what's permitted in each zoning district, or what restrictions there are in each zoning district.
Once again, I'm gonna make a motion to end discussion on this and take a vote.
That motion's already
we're
on the
just
floor,
waiting
we
on one
haven't
vote.
voted on it yet.
We're waiting on vote.
Waiting on a second.
Huh?
Otterbach seconded
No,
it.
I
we
seconded
already
it.
seconded, we already voted, it's 2-2.
Okay.
Motion made, seconded to stop discussion. All those in favor? Just ending discussion. I will take the property managed services special exception in the village. A vote on that. Somebody wants to make
There's already a motion on the table relative to this original motion.
No,
It's two votes for each, and the other deciding vote.
I think that was just the polling of the board to see.
Yes, but there was a motion on the floor prior to that. There was a
No.
motion on the floor that
No.
was seconded.
No,
No,
Not yet.
no.
no, there hasn't been a motion. I'll make a motion that property managed services.
Nope, wait a minute, correct. Yes, he is correct.
Yes.
Sorry, Rick.
What was
Good
the
catch.
motion, please?
It was a motion to add our property maintenance services to
And
the
it was
table of
seconded.
use. Tim made the motion and Rick seconded it, and then you went into discussions.
Then we went off track.
Well, then we were discussing what was permitted or not permitted, or what its status was in each use group, in each zoning district. And that was where our discussion
It
went.
went into discussion.
Right.
So let's have the vote.
So that original motion on
Puts it as it is.
34.2, adding our property management services will be permitted in all zones.
Exactly.
So that's what you're,
That's the
That's the
motion
motion
that
I
was
made.
made. Right? Then we got into the discussion of having it as a special exception.
I was thinking that it was gonna be three separate ones, but anyways.
No, this will be the,
First one.
Mhm.
all those in favor of the motion? You in favor of the motion as is? All those opposed?
Okay, hold on a second, you guys are confusing me. Okay, and not in favor of it is,
Tim, Dennis, Roy, and Rick were in favor,
yep,
and I had to vote, break the tie. I voted no.
not in all zones. Not in all zones.
No, I voted not in all zones, correct.
Okay.
Well, no, the motion was to allow in all zones.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so that was defeated.
Anybody want to make a motion on the other? Tim?
I'll make a motion that we add, that's the definition you were referring to, correct?
No.
No.
34.2 commercial uses, putting our property management services permitted in all districts except the village, which would be a special exception. And presented to the,
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
been made and seconded. We have any more discussion? And I will call for a vote on that. All those in favor?
Special exception?
Special exception
For the village district only.
for the village. All opposed? I will vote in the affirmative. Article 35.2, commercial uses by adding property management services, a commercial business which provides lawn and yard care and property maintenance services. Make a motion that we accept that
I will second that motion.
and present it to the voters.
Oh, I will second that motion.
Made and seconded, do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
We're opposed to the definition.
Close the whole thing at this point.
I'm sorry, Tom, how'd you vote?
Let the voters decide. Dennis, you want to do number 6?
I'm gonna pass it on to Kim.
Okay.
I don't have half that paperwork yet,
All right.
I can't find it anyway.
You like to read mine?
You want to read it? Go ahead. Put you on the spot.
You didn't get out of it.
See, are you in favor of the adoption of amendment number 6 as proposed by the planning board for the town zoning ordinance as follows? Commercial usage.
34.2 commercial uses.
34.2 commercial uses, adding S, sports and recreational facility. It's permitted in the village. It's permitted in commercial, permitted in the commercial node. It has a restriction on permission in the road type commercial. And it's not permitted in residential or rural. And
We do that now. That's the next piece.
Add to the definitions.
I'm getting to it here. Amendment to Article Section 35(2), amusement and sports recreational services. An indoor and/or outdoor establishment engaged in providing amusement or entertainment for a fee or admissions charge, and including such activities as cinema, theater, bands, orchestras, and other musical entertainments, batting cages, mini golf, go-karts, driving ranges, bowling alleys, billiards and pool establishments, pinball, video games, parlors, including but not limited to similar recreational devices. The facility may also provide accessory structures necessary to meet the needs of the various sports and recreational activities. Want to read the rest of it here? Discussion
No.
full?
No.
No.
That's it.
Okay.
I have two thoughts on this, and I don't know whether anybody will agree with me or not. The amusement facilities are already defined on A, which has the same restrictions of permitted, not permitted, permit 1, P1, P, and P, and P2. And the only thing we would have to do, we could eliminate our S, and just put the amusement, and we'd still be covered. I mean, that's my thought. I don't know how the board feels.
I'd agree with that.
I think we need to make a distinction between amusement facilities and sports and recreation facilities because they are different types of activities.
But you're saying in the definition, providing amusement.
Oh, the wording, right, providing amusement, I think we should strike that word. So that it just reads, and I'll read the first sentence, an indoor and/or outdoor establishment engaged in providing entertainment for a fee or admission charges and include such activities as, and then we have that whole list, and eliminate the wording amusement. Because we have amusement covered in the table.
Using mine is right, I think we just supposed to take it out anyway.
Number A, yes, exactly.
Well, that was one of the things that we discussed before.
Because what we're adding to this table and uses is sports and recreation facilities, not amusement facilities.
So you.
But cinemas are amusement.
Our cinema's covered under our amusement facilities ordinance.
But you're taking the amusement out of the definition of the ordinance.
Oh, I see what you're saying. This is just in the definition.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Connie. So yes, in that,
And
To
so if
clarify
you
that-
take amusement,
no, we do not take it out because this is definitions only. It's not in the table itself.
It's a device, am I correct?
no,
Under definitions?
amusement device is under the definitions,
It's a
right?
device.
Device, not amusement.
Page 83.
Amusement can be a play, could be a cinema, anything that
I
somebody
see
says.
that, I see that, yeah.
If I may, amusement facility, any commercial use which offers for hire to the public, to the general public, access to structures, vehicles, mechanical, electrical contrivances, or other facilities which are intended primarily to provide entertainment, amusement, or recreation, and in which the patron is engaged on the premises as an active participant rather than as a spectator,
Correct.
and where such use occupy in excess of 20% of the total interior, exterior public area.
Which almost is what,
Right, so for definitions, we do want the wording amusement in there, in the definition.
So are we striking that definition there? and
No,
everything?
no. The wording, I'm just saying, the wording as it's presented to us should remain.
Okay, well, these are conflicting then.
What's conflicting?
Well, it
This
says
is-
strike amusement
We
and
went through this
sports.
before when we had somebody come before the board and wanted to have a band, a live band. According to this here, they should be allowed to do it. And we
they
wouldn't
will
allow
be
it.
now.
Huh?
They will be now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
So,
But that conflicts with what the other one's saying.
no, the other one is under amusement devices, isn't that correct?
Right,
And
On page 83.
which is what I just
Under
read.
definitions, commercial uses, 35.2, A, says amusement facility.
correct.
Yep,
And that is defined as one of our definitions that we
that's what he
refer
just
to
read.
in our zoning.
What page, Steve?
83.
It conflicts with this one.
No, definition.
So couldn't we just add another definition for sports and recreational services?
Yes. But
That's
what
what
Connie's
this one
pointing
is.
out is, the definition that we have here in front of us to review and vote on is for sports and recreational services, but it mentions providing amusements as well.
All right, so we're not.
But it
affecting-
doesn't say amusement facility. And there's a
Correct.
difference, there's a distinction, because if you're providing a bowling alley, or billiards, or driving range, or golf carts, or mini golf, or whatever, that can be considered amusement,
Yeah,
but not an amusement facility by definition.
Okay, so if.
This is, and the amusement under this is amusement device.
Facility.
Device. Page 73.
But aren't we trying to change that definition by striking amusement if we vote for this?
we will be,
Are we looking to strike it, or are we looking to add?
Well, the
It says both. It says add sports and strike amusement.
That's what it says.
yeah, I understand.
So we're removing amusement out of that title and
Yes.
making it just sports and recreational facilities?
Yes.
But you also have amusement in the definition.
And that's where Tim had suggested striking it.
Yes.
Steve?
Not me.
Ralph?
I'm on the hot seat often
You get two definitions here.
Well,
From what I see, you
It's
allow,
confusing.
if someone comes in here and has a business and they wanna have a band, like we went through this summer,
I understand that, Dennis.
okay,
What I'm
one
saying-
definition you can, the other one says you can't.
And that's,
That's the problem.
no,
It's permitted. It says so right here
So,
in this
no,
amusement.
you're making the wrong distinction here, because we have two distinct definitions. One talks about amusement facilities and one talks about amusement devices. The definition that we're reviewing right now talks about an indoor or outdoor establishment engaged in providing amusement or entertainment.
where
We're
are
not
you
saying
getting-
we're providing amusement facility or amusement machines or devices. We're just providing
Okay,
amusement
so we're leaving the initial amusement devices,
in the definition.
and this is a separate
Where,
definition.
where are you getting this amusement facility definition?
You just read,
Definition,
definition, page 70, amusement devices on page 73,
yeah,
and amusement facility on page 83. And neither of those are referenced in the wording for this new definition.
83 is the tables,
83 is the amusement
it's not a
facility.
definition.
No, Connie, you
Yes,
have
it
an
is.
older, you
Yeah,
have an
hold it.
older,
no, it's not.
page
So
83.
under 35.2,
83,
It's confusing the way it's set up and.
No, it isn't. It really isn't.
It isn't.
Because we have three different things we're talking about here. We're talking about amusement devices, which are like pinball machines and things of that nature. We're
Yeah.
having amusement facilities, which
Yeah.
are those which provide electronic
35.2.
devices or
Yeah.
mechanical, whatever. And then
Amusement
we're talking
facility.
about recreational and sports facilities, which among other things provides amusement and entertainment. It's
Okay.
not devices or facilities.
But we're adding a definition, we're not restricting another one.
That
right?
is correct.
Okay. Well, it should have been
all right, so,
laid out a little bit.
This is what I thought we
But
set
you
this
are.
up.
yeah.
Exactly.
But you could restrict the new one by going to
Well,
the
do
old one.
everything
No,
you can.
no,
Yes, you can.
no.
I can
It
see it
would
happen.
depend on
I
how
can
you,
see it happen.
how you filled out your
Alright.
application.
Okay. Oh. Anyone else in the public?
Ralph?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're broadening, it seems to be the definition, and I'm not sure that I understand the difference between your A and your S. You're actually taking, from my perspective, amusement facility and broadening it. And I don't know why you just can't make it an amusement and sports facilities and then use this definition. I had the same problems with, I'd like a special exception, and Roy will argue with me, but it seems to me, I'm not sure that these are two separate categories. They could be the same category.
Well,
And
if you have
nowhere
a-
in your amusement facility does it talk about amusement devices, does it?
Yes, it does.
It
Where?
does, it has the
73.
definitions.
Hmm?
Page 73.
83.
No.
73 page,
35.2A we're talking about,
Right, amusement facility.
where does it have?
that is defined on page 83.
I
And,
understand that, but you also have a
and 73 page,
That's a-
73 is amusement devices.
and I don't know why that definition is there,
Because,
because it's not in amusement facility. So you have a definition, amusement devices, that is just sitting there in the definitions and doesn't refer to anything else.
well,
But that's probably for another day.
no, that was put through because of the circus in West Ossipee.
Circus and Wisconsin.
Oh, my.
I think I agree with you, Ralph,
All right.
because you can read about 7 different ways.
Quiet on that
Two
one.
definitions we're gonna
I'm
do.
gonna stay quiet on that one.
Well, that's what I was told.
Okay.
I don't
All I'm
see a
saying
problem
is,
with this.
under amusement facility, your definition doesn't mention amusement devices at all.
Correct.
So I don't know why you then have a definition of amusement devices already in there, because it doesn't refer to anything. The idea of amusement and entertainment as businesses, to me, I would just combine them rather than have two separate categories, but you're the planning board, you can put that together, and I'll have to live with whatever you come up with.
I kind of agree with Ralph on this one, so.
Well, that's why I presented it. And the only other thing we have to do, we would have to eliminate part of, excuse me, we would take amusement, sports, and recreational services and put it in
With,
the definition of amusement device instead of which would eliminate that and still keep the facility.
you mean amusement facility, not
No,
devices?
device, eliminate device.
Would you
Under
have to
definition.
This.
notify of a
Right.
public hearing for
Right.
that?
Amusement device has nothing to do with this.
That's why it's so
We change it
confusing.
that much, we do, I
It's
think.
got nothing to do with this.
Yes, it does.
My take is if you have a building, that's a facility. A device is a cigarette machine.
Or a
Is
pinball machine or a video
That's a
game
device.
machine.
That's my take on it.
I understand that, but you have it in here, providing amusement or entertainment for a fee.
But we also list in this proposed definition,
In your amusement device,
pinball and video games.
which you have to pay for. And that's what's in amusement device. The insertion of a coin, token, or plate.
We're not discussing that portion of the ordinance.
Well, I understand the confusion here. Perhaps we need to rework the wording
Yeah.
so that it says, instead of reads, and pinball and video game parlors including, but not limited to, whatever, we just put,
That's referring to a place.
oh,
how much-
facilities, not devices.
Just how much of the
You're
word
right.
can we change
You're right.
without another public hearing
No,
tonight?
no.
I
We
don't
have
see
to have
that
a
as the
public
issue.
hearing.
No, I do
The
see that.
The real issue here is gonna be when someone comes in here and wants to have, like Hobbs or some of these other places that wanna have a band and an orchestra, it's now permitted in the village.
Right, right.
And that's the way it should be. But if you read the other ordinance, we've been denying them that. And they have to go get a permit and everything else to have it.
That's the
That's-
select board's ordinance.
Well, they're out of this now, because if you permit this, you can't do
Passed it
that.
off to us already.
Yeah.
So it does away with all that.
But
I like this
keep-
definition
Keep
better.
in mind, Dennis, if somebody wants to come and open up a facility like that, they have to come before the board anyways for a special exception.
Right,
I'm not
I'm
talking
sorry,
about
not a
opening a
special
business.
exception, a site plan review.
right.
I understand that, yeah, okay.
Did you discuss with the
Okay.
selectmen like you're supposed to? It says here you're supposed to.
I did.
What was their take on it?
They're thinking about it.
I think it was no good tonight.
Tonight, my take, where it's permissible or not permissible, is residential, you got a not permissible. The village district is residential and commercial, it's both.
Mm.
So,
This is
Contradicting
consistent
itself.
with the current, amusement facilities is the same setup
Right,
as
right.
amusement facilities above it.
In village.
yeah, I'm just looking what you're trying to put in here for being permitted or not
Right.
permitted.
But it's the same,
What's
Facilities.
permitted on this one is the same as what's permitted up on top for amusement facilities.
Right, and we did that we discussed that and determined that should be specifically the same because they are similar activities.
But we are adding to it.
You're
am I
not
correct?
getting.
We are adding to it, am I correct?
We're adding to the
We
table.
denied
and
people
we're adding to the
and have them
definition.
go for
We're adding
permit.
another
Definition.
definition.
Exactly.
And this
Right,
one-
see, that's
Whoa!
how it's confused.
please, one at a time. Dennis,
I find these contradicting, because we sat here and this summer, we said, we came up with a bunch of different things. You could have an auto show, but you couldn't have a flower show. Which,
Right.
I mean, so we came up with this weird list
Yeah.
of why people couldn't do things on their property as far as recreational type thing or amusement. Okay, under that one, they wouldn't be able to have a band come like Hobbs or somewhere else and have a band once or twice a year or whatever. Under this new one, they would be allowed to, if they could prove that they could
No,
take.
that's not a sport or recreation facility. We're talking about sport and
No,
recreation
no, we're talking
facilities.
about this definition. This definition says that
adding
you
it.
can have a band, an orchestra, you can have that.
Yeah,
We said you couldn't in the other one this summer.
Okay,
That's the difference. You got two different definitions going.
okay.
He's right, bands, orchestra,
However,
other musical
however,
entertainment.
getting back to the first portion of amendment number 6, which is the modification of the commercial uses table, we are talking about adding item number S, or letter S, sports and recreational facility, and we had a discussion about whether in the village district it's permitted or should be special exception, and we already discussed that we are mirroring on the table what is provided and allowed, or permitted and allowed for amusement facility in the different zoning districts, so that the two comply with, similar restrictions or requirements within the
But they're not
ordinance.
the same.
But they are in essence.
Like I said, it's how you fill out the application.
The second part of this is the definition, which we seem to be getting hung up on.
all right.
Well, I guess it all depends on what the selectmen think. I think that's
Oh,
what,
that's
that's what
selectmen
I'm
does.
gonna come back to.
Well,
We're kinda arguing about nothing here, really.
I had a big discussion
Yes, you
last Ed, watch it on TV. I asked them to take their ordinance back. They said, oh no, that's only a temporary ordinance. The rest of it's up to you guys, in essence.
Well, I make
Right,
a
Ed?
motion, we accept it as written.
The table.
Yeah, the addition to the definitions.
No,
Then we gotta do the table.
you have to take section 35.2
And add
Yes.
S, okay.
as written,
All right, add S as written. And then add, under commercial uses, sports and recreational services, an indoor and outdoor establishment engaged in
oh, no.
We can only do one at a
one at a
time.
time? All right. Well, back up then. Just to
All
add
right, so right
section
now we're
S.
doing 34.2, adding S to the table
Yep.
of uses.
Commercial uses.
To Put before the
As
voters,
presented,
as presented.
and put before to the
Town
voters.
meeting.
I will second that motion.
Any more discussion?
I hope not.
All those in favor? Motion carries. Definition,
I make a motion that we accept the definition as noted and present to the town for vote.
Second.
are you removing,
We are removing the word amusement in the title, but not in the language in the definition.
all right, so, just to get my brain straight, under section 35.2, you were proposing to add the definition
For
of
sports
and
and recreational facilities, services, excuse me,
as written.
as written, and present to the voters for approval.
And I seconded it.
Motion been made and seconded. Any more discussion on it? If not, all those in favor? Motion carries.
Oh, next one's easy.
Timothy?
Okay.
you're up.
Amendment number 7. Are you in favor of the adoption of Amendment 7 in the proposed planning board for the town of, zoning ordinance as follows? Commercial uses, 34.2 commercial uses, adding T athletic fitness / fitness facility. And under T, in the different districts, it is village permitted, residential permitted, roadside commercial is a P1, commercial is permitted, rural is permitted, commercial node is permitted, and corridor is P2.
Okay,
Make a motion, we accept 32.2,
No, change that.
34.2, T.
34.2 to be presented to town for vote.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Article 35.2, commercial uses definition. To add to the definition, adding athletic / fitness facility, any recreational facility whose primary purpose is for the active participation of all members in athletic / fitness programs and activities.
I'll second that motion.
Make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Read the definition.
I make a motion that we accept the definition under Article 35.2, Section 35.2, adding athletic fitness / fitness facilities definition as written, and present to the town for vote.
Second.
Any discussion,
From the public even.
even from the public?
Oh, we're gonna let us in now.
Oh,
We're listening down there.
we let you in before, Ralph.
You left me out a couple times, but that's okay.
You're in this time, Ralph. You're out of the doghouse.
Oh, I thought we had had enough discussion prior to that.
But I would only point out there seems to be a little bit of an inconsistency between S and T in terms of the residential areas. But since you're gonna permit it, and so you guys gotta handle the site plans, you can be in the hot seat,
That will be the site plan, yeah.
so. But it would seem to me that sports and recreational facilities and athletic fitness facilities, you're gonna deny them in residential, you might think about denying them in athletic, but I don't feel strongly one way or the other on that.
Well, they're permitted now.
Yeah, but, never mind. I'm looking at above for consistency.
I mean, we've already voted on that part.
Yeah, I know. But never mind.
All right,
I mean, you're trying to be consistent with A and S, then why not be consistent with S and T?
He does have a point.
That's my only, I'm just looking for consistency in the arrangement, that's all. I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other. I'm just looking at the wording of the ordinance.
so you were looking to have residential and rural as N. Not permitted.
Correct.
So you're saying that, which would eliminate having, let's say, in a residential or rural district, we couldn't have a Little League baseball field, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was a town that they tell us.
So you put the baseball field in the middle of the village, then.
That's it.
So who's gonna take the house down?
Ralph does have a good point.
I mean, yeah, it's just amusement facility is permitted, not permitted in residential, not permitted in rural. Sports and recreational facilities are permitted in the village, not permitted in residential, not permitted in rural. And then athletic and fitness facilities is permitted in everything. And like I said, I don't have a horse in the race. I'm just saying
This distinction here, Ralph, is that by definition, our sports and recreational services covers a lot of things that are not athletic and sports relative to the different zoning districts. In other words, the reason we restrict some of them is that, you know, we don't want a theater in a residential district. We don't want a,
I think what he's looking at is, he doesn't want a Planet Fitness going in the residential area.
I understand.
That's exactly right.
Or something similar.
You're making a good point.
Well, you'll have to reverse your vote then. You've already,
No, we voted it. I'm just saying, I'm not disagreeing with him, but we've already voted on that aspect of it.
Voted on what?
On the revision, the addition to the table.
34.2, T has already been voted on.
Right.
Okay.
We're discussing the definition, but it's gotten back
Ralph
to
is-
the table.
Any other discussion? I will call for a vote then on Article, Section 35.2, commercial uses as presented.
Athletic fitness facility
Tilly
definition.
made a motion to that.
Right.
Then made and seconded, all those in favor? Motion carries. At this time, I will close the public hearing. The amendments. The announcement that on January 29th at 7 o'clock, we will have a hearing on the petition, which was presented. By law, we have to have a hearing and was not presented in time to advertise it. So we have to have a
For
second
tonight's
hearing.
meeting.
Pardon?
For tonight's meeting.
For tonight's meeting, correct. So we will have that on the 29th. We will be discussing it in our regular meeting. Going on to our regular meeting.
You wanna do the minutes?
We're down to minutes.
I make a motion to accept them.
Excuse me, wait a minute. Public input, anybody got anything on any case not presented? Hearing none, I will go to minutes. January, excuse me, December 18th, 2018.
I make the motion to accept them.
Should be January 2nd.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got,
Did I print the wrong one?
yes, ma'am.
No, it says January 2nd at the top.
Yeah, January 2nd. Excuse me, we're correct.
Mhm.
Says here, minutes, meeting minutes. Review to approve minute meetings of 12/18, ma'am.
No.
I'm only reading what you wrote on the
Well, we already accepted,
agenda.
we already
We're reading
accepted
the
those.
January 2nd agenda.
On January 2nd, we
Why
did review to approve the minutes of
But you
December
have
18th.
nothing on there for minutes.
What do you mean I have
To
nothing on
approve
here?
Connie,
minutes.
are you looking at today's agenda?
No, it
Yes.
isn't.
No, no, he's
you're
looking
not.
he's looking at the January 2nd meeting
Oh,
minutes.
Got me all confused.
I'll take one.
Thanks.
I see some
Be nice
guys,
now.
Oh, you know what?
I see some guys with white coats over there.
I know why I picked this up to do it because of the,
Did you make an motion again, Roy?
I made it 3 times, I don't know if I
I
already
second
did.
it.
Yeah.
I think we vote 3 times, I guess.
all those in favor, any additions or corrections on the Minutes. Hearing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Unsatisfied. Ambrose Pit, we received a letter from DES on January 7th.
What was the nature of that letter?
We do not
Basically,
have anything,
Just to read, you know,
They haven't
That
done
was
anything,
the only
so there's
thing.
no need for a new plan.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion that we
Yes.
approve.
There's no need for a renewal of the alteration of terrain.
Right,
That's what it was.
right.
Which pit's this? Ambrose?
Ambrose.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be.
I make a motion that we approve the gravel pit, permit for Ambrose's Pit,
Second.
and that we sign the papers. Any discussion?
Night.
All those in favor? Motion carries. Chickville Pit. Haven't heard anything. Mary Evans Pit, there's pending a wipe out to July 1st. Morse Pit, we have not heard anything.
You want me to give Brian a call on the Chickville pit? See what's going on?
Brad,
rather.
we have what on that? 1, 2. Legal documentation to find out who,
The fee.
and pending for legal opinion from the Ossipee, Sager. So I would say you want to talk to Brad, go ahead. See if we can speed it up and get this done.
I'll give him a call.
Morse Pit,
Is that in Washington or something? I mean,
What-
I've been
what-
here 3 years now.
Who's
It's
on the
15
Morse-
years before that, so,
on the
I
Morse
mean,
Pit?
we're
Yeah.
running some time on this.
Whose plate is that on right now, Connie?
It ought to be on Sager's plate. He's the
Okay.
one that dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Sager dropped the ball, but Mr. Morse's son has come in
Right,
and taken the file.
He came in, he reviewed the file,
Yeah,
he
right.
wanted copies of the plan, the last plans that were done.
right.
Those were made and were mailed to him mid-December.
Okay. So we're waiting for him to respond to us relative to his taking over from his father.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have called and left him
Okay.
a voice message, but
I would not expect to hear much from him before the snow melts anyway.
Yeah, I understand that.
Ain't much
but-
you can do right
No,
now.
No, I
No, I'm
understand
not
that.
saying what he can do right now. What I'm saying is,
I
we
would
want
just-
to know what he's
Yeah,
gonna do.
the status, right.
So, I will make a motion that we give him until,
I'd wait till the end of March. We'll hear from the end of March, then we ought to contact them.
if we do not hear anything from the meeting of February 19th, 2019, that we send him another letter.
Was that a motion?
Yes, that's
I
a
will
motion.
second that motion.
Any more discussion on it? All those in favor?
This is just a
Motion
reminder.
carries.
Yeah, but it's not his problem.
yes,
Well,
it
no,
is.
It is his problem.
No, it's not.
He's now taken over,
The old man died, he had
Yeah.
to take it over.
yeah.
It's part of the estate.
It's his estate's
This,
problem.
this was, I'm sorry, I got a problem here, I don't quite understand.
He's having,
15 years ago, the court mandated that this money be spent to get that property
Correct.
correct, right? The money was already taken, put in an account to have done, right? Out of his hands. Who's in charge of getting that done? That's who you
Sager.
want to be talking to.
Well,
It's not
Sager.
him.
I got an idea that he ought to come in and see us at the time, but the planning board's been actually approve or disapprove any plans, and if the plans are too extensive, if he, as far as I'm concerned, the plan board can actually change enough to, as long as it meets the rules and regulations, the grades on the slopes, rocks, smooth.
Well, I'm at a point where you were when you said that at this point,
Replan it, and,
it's not enough money to do anything.
Right.
no,
with-
it ain't,
with-
but,
No,
yeah, but you can make a very expensive plan like they did, I can't remember John's last name. What was John's last name?
John Day.
John Day.
Right.
They smoked him, made him redo it several
100,000.
times. Or we could make it simple enough so he passes an inspection that's legal.
Right. And at this point,
If he's willing to work with it, because he inherited the mess, and it's now his problem. So,
right, but change of ownership changes the whole picture, because now the new owner has to provide the appropriate documentation. He can't piggyback off of his father's documentation.
yeah, I think he can.
Yeah, you can.
Can he?
In the administration of his father's estate, he can.
Oh, right.
And that can be tied up in probate for years. I still think it's Rick Sager's fault.
Oh,
Well, we're not talking about fault here, we're talking about what is our path forward on getting this.
Rick Sager ought to,
But we're,
Perform the plan that was-
that'd be up to him to sue Rick Sager, but the, as far as I can see, we should work with the gentleman the best we can.
Right.
To give him the regulations.
Which is why we just made a motion and approved to remind him in February that he
Yeah.
needs to come back to us with his appropriate
Let's give it a
documentation.
chance, let's see if we can get this figured out and get it to pass inspection.
Okay.
If he,
Or maybe give him a chance to sell so somebody else wants to take it over.
Donate us-
Oh,
Something needs to be done.
when he was in here, he said that it was for sale.
Yes.
Good piece of commercial property.
Yeah. Moving on.
Mhm.
Proposed zoning change, 34.4 open spaces. Number 1 agricultural. Add permitted within the village and residential districts to correct a conflict with zoning ordinance 34.6. Somebody wants to read this whole thing, they can.
They don't have it because it wasn't on discussion for tonight,
Right,
outside of setting the date.
right.
We have to discuss it tonight so that,
So this is new business that wasn't on the agenda.
no, it's on the agenda.
It's not on my agenda.
No, not on the agenda, Bob.
it says just to set a date for a public hearing.
Public hearing.
And we already did that. It's
No,
gonna
we
be
haven't.
January
No.
We
29th.
just did that tonight, the 29th.
Right,
Petition to set a date for public hearing,
right.
which will be January 29th, 2019. 2
Oh,
weeks
I
from
see.
tonight.
I see it.
I will call a special meeting for that night or that, but if we don't go over tonight, that's just like dropping it in a lap on the 29th and
Right.
saying, vote yes or no. It has to go,
Right.
but we can recommend it or not recommend it. So I'd just like to throw it out tonight and
You got a copy?
I've got a copy here, I don't know, thought we gave them out.
No.
I can read it if
It
you
was
want.
not on the
We
agenda.
don't
Okay.
have copies, Tom.
We will have copies in a minute.
I think they're lucky the camera's on.
We discussed that back in December.
I think they're lucky the camera's on.
I don't,
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, we discussed it on the 18th of December. That's why I didn't
But it
click
was
with
tabled,
me.
we tabled
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Because they weren't gonna get it in time.
Right.
And we're gonna do it next year.
Well, legal voted against it. Told me I had to bring it up.
Really? Oh, okay. Procedurally, you had to bring it up.
It was accepted by the Selectmen's office on December 10th. So it made it to the Selectmen within 90 days.
I see what you're saying.
And it says in the RSA that it shall be returned to us in a timely manner.
Right.
And I asked the Selectmen if 35 days was a timely manner.
This is the actual petition itself.
Correct.
I got you. Yeah, because we discussed this back on the 18th of December.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a dead item.
Yeah.
And then it was brought up at the Selectmen's meeting last week.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick and I went round and around about it. And Municipal Association said no, they presented it in a timely manner, even though they had to change it.
Oh, really? So 35 days is a timely manner.
Pretty damn good for
Well,
government.
no, I'm just to understand what the whole chronology, Connie.
You know,
You think that's a long time? Apply for state stuff.
I understand. No, I understand.
10 would be 21. 36 days.
You might as well table that, Connie, you're telling half the story.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm telling the story.
You're telling half the story, and I'm not
I
even
don't
gonna
know,
get involved.
Thank you very much.
I saw the video.
It was presented.
I was up in the office, I brought it to their attention.
Oh, yeah,
He's
I
telling half
just,
the story.
yeah, because I just saw the.
I know the story.
Well, I'm telling you, it was.
There shouldn't be, we shouldn't even be talking about it.
Why not?
It shouldn't be open for discussion. I don't even know why we're listening to this tonight. If you want to, we will.
We have to recommend it or not recommend it.
Fine. 29th, it's gonna be open to the public, am I correct?
Just like
Yeah.
tonight.
But it hasn't been out in the newspaper yet. We had to wait till it went into the newspaper to have tonight's meeting.
On a public hearing. This is not a public hearing. This is within the regular public.
Oh, I'm leaving. Connie, you're the chairman. Please.
I will bring it to the attention of the board. You have 2 weeks to look at it, make up your minds.
No, thank you, Laura.
Everyone has a copy.
Now I remember seeing this somewhere.
We have a notice from Sager on the financial of the Morse pit still having $6,874.25.
Mr. Chairman, if I can back up for just a minute, the
Yeah.
agricultural uses, did we set the date?
The
It is
29th.
January 29th.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
You didn't set the date, I set the date.
Okay,
As chairman.
yes.
So be here.
29th of January?
Yeah,
Yes.
2 weeks from tonight, Jim.
Do we get paid extra for that extra meeting?
I want a pay raise.
Same as you get paid for this one.
That's right, yes.
No pay raise? Gee.
Okay.
You get paid with our lovely presents.
The town report, Lori, you're gonna write the summary.
Yep.
Okay. Has to be in by the 25th of January.
I know.
Ossipee Roundtable. Connection, collaboration, communication, February 9th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the town hall, breakfast included. Connect with others to serve community, find ways to collaborate for future events. Discuss how to communicate using calendars or online groups. your organization slash committee is invited to the Ossipee Roundtable because you provide services, financial support, and organize events to make Ossipee a fun, safe, and affordable place to live. Please send 1 or 2 representatives to speak for your organization or committee. Bring flyers, information, business cards to share. RSP by February 6th. Either, and her name is Joy. Laura Gagnon. Joy Gagnon at yahoo.com or Misty Ryder. Write a mystery at gmail.com or call or text Joy at 662-8901. Meeting agenda. Breakfast will be served by the Ossipee Youth Instructions, group activity and discussion. Round table, sharing what you do as an organization. Goals for the future, community-wide collaborations and communications. So if anybody wants to go,
What's the date on that, Tom?
February 9th, 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's gotta be a Saturday. Did we do this before?
I didn't give you that.
Oh, greenery, Ossipee recovery, I thought we already covered that.
We did.
Yeah, we're only waiting for the fire chief.
Right.
We have inspection sheets. And you can read that. Your decision, Ralph.
Notice the decision. I think he ought to read it.
You want to stand up and read it, Ralph?
Notice the decision. Dear William Dawson Jr., you are hereby receiving notice of decision for the following case heard on January 8th, 2019 at the Ossipee Town Hall Annex Freight House. The ZBA moved to accept the appeal of the administrative decision on the following articles. 1, Article 34.2, no reference to landscape in or property maintenance in the village district. The ZBA is classified the definition of Dawson Excavation and Utility Service, LLC and ABC Lawn Care as business offices per Article 34.2E provided. A detailed floor plan indicating the office faculties in the building for each business is provided. 2, to be attached to building permit request of November 30th, 2018, and 3, December 30th, 2018 letter submitted by White Mountain Survey and Engineering to be a part of the permanent record, and 4, all federal, state, and local regulations shall be followed. Number 2, Article 35.6.c, accessory uses, storage of material. ZVA moved to accept the right of Dawson Excavation and Utility Services, LLC, and ABC Lawn Care to use the property for outdoor storage of the following conditions. 1, material and equipment stored in the property will be for business project use only, no retail sale. 2, applicant must apply to the planning board for an amendment to the existing conditional site plan review. 3, all federal, state, and local regulations and ordinances shall be followed.
How was the discussion?
Interesting.
2 hours.
Really?
We know what that's like.
Yep.
Actually, it's a little bit easier up there than it is on this one. It was interesting. As long as he made me, I've been good. Went the whole 2 hours. Uh-oh. Somebody wants a John Hancock.
Okay. I don't believe we have any other,
Only need the 2 signatures, right?
no,
Everybody?
send it around to whoever's here.
You all got pens?
Yep.
I can find no other business to you with, Laura.
Yeah, that's the special
Do
meeting.
you have any business other than we didn't do?
Yes.
This is the
Ed, do you have any updates for us?
Does the Ossipee Planning Board get involved with the roundabout at all? Or is it because it's a state
Hey,
road?
this is the first one they've ever had.
Yeah.
I've never heard of one
No.
before. They've had, well, the Economic Committee, Development had something. And then Ossipee Listens had something
Yeah.
prior, which was a roundtable discussion. You'd go from station to station around.
I'm talking about the roundabout.
On 28.
Yes, does this planning board have any jurisdiction
No.
over anything that happens in that area?
No.
Not even the surrounding?
No.
Nothing about regional development, nothing, no
No.
other notifications, the state does all that?
Yep.
No, the selectmen do, but we don't. What did the commissioners do about the water pipes?
They're waiting for New Hampshire DOT to get back to them on how much it's gonna cost. And then the delegation is standing by to make that appropriation. For the first time, if you watch this whole process from the beginning, it's the first time I've actually seen people in different agencies and in different governmental levels actually working together. But it's a shame that people have to be killed in an accident to have that happen.
Multiple times.
I believe we finished everything on it. Oh, 6 years.
I believe the
from
state
now.
has to have public hearings for all that stuff.
Yeah.
6 years from now, from today, right? On the expiration. Oh, 15th, today's 15th. 6 years. Oh, yeah.
2025.
Yeah.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion has been made,
Second.
second.
Any discussion?
What? Don't ask Ralph. We'll be another round.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. What a productive night.
Bring a shirt with you tonight, Steve? Oh, it's too late now.